I thought I'd be cool enough. Welcome to the Untamable Life. I am Untamed Mando, and these are my crazy babble of coconuts. Yay!
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, today we're just gonna it's my birthday tomorrow, huzzah to me. And I figured we would just do another chill stream. I know we did one last week for, my awesome boba figure, which you missed out on, Ark. It was amazing and awesome. I
watched
knew
the
exactly
VOD.
what I was doing. Oh, you did? Okay, so you know
Yeah.
exactly
It was an hour
how
and a half
horrible.
struggling. Amanda's struggling.
Yeah.
Struggling. So much struggle.
Late Art is here. Hi, Late Art. Hello. We love you. Ark is here for a change. I know. How are you, dear? How is all of it in your side of the pond, my dear? How are you?
I'm feeling attacked, not just by Mando, but by chat now too. Wow.
Hey, I mean, if the shoe fits, you wear them.
I mean, I'm technically here, but it's not because I'm sleeping. It's because I'm normally working.
And for those of you who don't know, maybe you have seen her around the interwebs on a few different streams. My friend Smile a while. For me, if you do not understand how to say her name by now, what's wrong with you? She has been a good friend of mine. She's also been, listen to oldies. She's also been on my show before. If you missed that one, how dare you? I can't believe you. But yes. And then, of course, there's always Arkasul. So I will let you guys do your own intros. Smile, you can go first. I'm gonna greet the late art chat because she's the one who's talking right now, and she's very cute. Yeah.
Good morning. I've been around a few of the chats. Mostly, I'm on Instagram with my @SmileAWhile for me. My name is Sarah. You can call me either or. If you've listened to anything by Hall & Oates, that's the song. But I've been friends with Mando for, oh goodness,
almost 10 years now, I think. 2024 will be 10 years, so.
That old?
God, how old are we?
Are you 30 tomorrow or are you 31?
I am 30 tomorrow, yes.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're 6 months older than me. I'm 30 next year.
I'm the old lady here. Hi, Dawn. How are you doing, dear? All right, Ark. Tell the people about you.
I am Arkasul and I am here. Hi.
He's here.
How are we doing?
Don in the chat saying we're babies. That's right, Don. We're babies. Don't you forget it. But Don, you are not that old. I swear. You are young. You are young and you are hip. Hey, now I feel attacked. I'm the oldest. No, I think Don might have you beat late art, but I don't know if European time and British time and all that goes different or ages. I don't know if it's like cat years or dog years or something. I don't know.
Asian countries, you are born at 1 year old. Because the 9 months in the womb count as a year of life.
I didn't know that.
That's the truth. And then also, I believe in like Korea, you women are gonna love this. The mother of the child is not supposed to do anything but like feed the baby and take care of the child for like the first 100 days. She's not even supposed to lift anything like heavier than her child. As the child like progressively gets bigger, like you raise the weight. But for like the first 21 days, you're supposed to eat like really like nutritious food, and then the next 100 days you're just supposed to be like focused on your child. So go be Korean if you want that.
They have amazing maternity benefits in Korea. And Japan is pretty similar, I believe.
Confirmed! I knew it! Thank you, late art. Every year is like 20 in Europe. Oh my god, I knew it. I knew it. Hold on. Dang it, all these notifications. It's like I went live or something. Who's gonna feed me though? Yeah, maybe I should be Korean so I don't have to do anything. I don't
You'd have
know.
to maybe then.
That's the spirit, Mando. That's the
I mean, I'd be
spirit.
really tall there. I would be like one of the giants. I'd be
Not
tall.
really, actually. Koreans are pretty.
Shh. Let me have my dream. My tea is still too hot.
The average height over there is 5'5". So
Yeah.
Bob.
You have to remember that, like, in most of their society, like, it's really hard. There's not very many colleges to get into. So you have to struggle to get into college. And that's why
I
so
already
many.
graduated. I got my piece of paper that says I'm smart.
Good for you.
Oh, but I can't do English. Great. The American education and middle system.
That's right. That's right. The good old American education system.
Yes. But we're not going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about the European education system because we're going to take a trip to Europe today through C.S. Lewis. At least for a little while. We'll be there.
That's right. And I am going to let the two C.S. Lewis nerds take over. So,
well, what? How much do you know about C.S.? Like, what is your knowledge on C.S. Lewis?
I read the Chronicles of Narnia. My mother got me this Scholastic box set, and it's kind of like yours over in the corner that you've shown before, but it's not as fancy, and it was all right. I enjoyed it. Aslan was the best. Loved him. But I didn't really like the kids in the first book. I thought they were annoying. I was like,
You're not the only one who feels that way.
Okay,
yeah,
so the first book meaning the magician's nephew?
I think so.
Okay.
Listen. When I say it was a scholastic book, I mean like that's when like you were in like third grade, second grade, and the Scholastic Book Fair would come in, and they had that. And my mother bought it for me, and then I was like, "Yay!" And I read all the books in like not one sitting, but like I read them one after the other. Like that was the only thing I was doing for like 3 months. It took me 3 months to read the whole thing. And because I had read The Hobbit by myself by that time many times, so it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities for me to read. But my retention of the story, I could read it again and it'd be a brand new book to me.
And you should read.
Okay.
I had to ask which book was first, though, because a lot of people are introduced to C.S. Lewis's work through the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because that was the first movie made in like more modern times. And so a lot of people go, "Oh, well, I read the first book," and they mean The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which was the first book written, but it was not the first book in the series. Because the series of the world is the magician's nephew.
Let me get my box set.
Drop some bombs.
I'm ignoring it.
Yes!
I'm ignoring that.
Yes, Ladard, this is why I love you. And yes, one of these days when I do go to Europe, I plan on messaging you and being like, we need to get tea or coffee or whatever. Biscuits. I don't know. I don't care.
I'm ignoring that comment. It was a very rude comment.
Very rude.
Very rude.
Roto Kamish, what's up? Sorry, Smile, go ahead.
So I just wanted to ask and see what the first one is, because I do think, I was introduced to the series in a weird order, because I was first given The Horse and His Boy, because I liked horses. And so I was handed that. And it's a very interesting book to start the series on, because The Horse and His Boy is the first book in the series that's not from the perspective of children from like our world.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no idea what I was getting into when I read the rest of the books, and I didn't understand this. How there, if you I'm sorry if it's a spoiler, but I sure hope by now it's not a spoiler for people. There's a scene in the book where, towards the end of this book, where the horse he's riding is attacked by a lion, and there's a whole kind of theme going back and forth. And I didn't understand any of the nuances or understand who this prince was he was going to see, because Horse and His Boy takes place during the time that Peter and Susan are reigning in Narnia. And I had zero context for that, but I loved the book. And so I read that book literally in one night. I was given the book by a YWAM band, which is a ministry band that was staying with us for like 3 weeks while they were traveling throughout the Midwest. They gave me that first book, and I read it that night. And then one of their band members gave me the entire book in like one volume. And so it's a very interesting way to start the series. I don't know if I generally would recommend handing a child The Horse and His Boy as the first book for the series.
I mean,
okay, so I found it. It was the magician. It was the
magician's nephew. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one to start out.
Oh, and also, you know how they have like those promotional covers. Like my box set has the promotional covers for the movie that came out. It said now a major motion picture, and I'm just like, it looks so gaudy right now. Like I'm looking back at it. I would prefer a very simplistic, very minimalistic cover. And instead I got the Ice Queen, I got Aslan, and then I got Peter. I'm pretty sure it's Peter.
Sorry.
And yeah.
So this is actually my husband's box set, which is surprising. But so this has got like the old school artistry on it.
That's nice.
Half of my series has that artwork, and the other half is actually the edition like 5 to 10 years prior to that, where all of the covers were yellow and had very simple artwork on it. And that series is interesting because are actually the numbers on that series on the spines are the publishing order, not the like general written intended reading order. So I have 2 books that are marked book 3.
Sorry, I'm putting this back gingerly because it's technically.
Did you just say that you had 2 books that are marked book 3?
Yes, because the original series, when it was published up until like the 70s, the order that was written on the spine for the column, like for the series order, was the publishing order, not the order that we generally read them in now. And it's a really, really big debate as to which order they should be read in. Should they be read in publishing order, or should they be read in the intended, what we call like the storyline order?
Well,
and so,
it should be read in the order that C.S. Lewis wanted. There.
He never said what order he really wanted them to be read in.
C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were friends, y'all. You need to understand this.
Well, I mean, you're not going to read the Hobbit, and then you're going to jump to the Return of the King, then you're going to jump to the Two Towers, and then the Fellowship. That would make zero sense.
Well, especially and actually wrote it as one tome, and was very disheartened when they told them that they were not, that nobody would want to read all 3 of those books as one work.
See, now that there has been heated debate on how many books are actually in the Lord of the Rings, and I know that there are some trolls that we both know, Arkasul, that likes to say it was 6 books instead of 3.
Yeah. See, Tolkien wrote everything all at once, like right after The Hobbit, but it was like there's a 14-year period, there's a 14-year gap between when they were published, and like it's there's so many different hoops that you have to jump through to get to the conclusion that it's 6 books. I imagine, because I was
wait, how do you get books?
Okay, so each book, the Fellowship has 2. The Fellowship is a novel that has 2 books in it. That's the way they look at it. Because there are 2 parts for each book. The Fellowship, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King. There's 2 parts per book. And each part has its own title, and each part was supposedly supposed to be its own individual book.
you could take that logic into so many other books, though, and that wouldn't make any sense. Like Jane Austen wrote books that had multiple parts in it,
Go
and
off, please.
you know,
Yeah, keep
in
going.
it. Like that's just because you break the story up into different parts. Generally, an author is going to break a story into like parts to try to negate a time jump or a location jump of some sort. So you're actually setting the reader up to transport to a new spot in this story, whether it be a location change or a little bit of a time jump, or even just like a mental breakdown of making sure, like when you're reading, it's the same thing like having a comma, or in the Bible, in the Psalms, they use the word Selah, which means to pause. It's a reader mark as an author to help you transition into wherever the author's taking the story.
So yeah, there's just for those of you who maybe did know that there is some controversy out there, but for that the Lord of the Rings, as far as that, but also like transitioning back to C.S. Lewis. To be quite honest, the way in the actual books, the order that they were written in, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was actually the first book that he wrote.
Yes.
Out of the series. Hi, Jacob. This guy is cool. You guys should subscribe to his YouTube
And if I'm
channel.
trying to remember all of the nuances in his biographies, I've read so much of his work, but it's been most recently a space trilogy. I reread that most recently. Is he was writing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis really writes a lot of his works to be read out loud, which is why some people struggle with like Mere Christianity, because Mere Christianity was actually a radio broadcast, and so it wasn't written. We write differently when we're reading something. We're writing something to be read out loud versus writing something to be read privately. It's a different English style because of how language flows. And Chronicles of Narnia was very much written to be read out loud. It was a story to tell the children that he had in his life. And so the first book was written, and I believe there was a bit of a time gap between that and more of his works, because I don't think he like set out writing this book going, yes, I'm going to create this amazing series.
Yeah, he had no idea that it was going to be a series when he first wrote it.
Yeah, he would get letters from children asking about more of the story, and Tolkien kind of mocked him for it. Tolkien was not a fan of C.S. Lewis's simpler writing. You know, C.S. Lewis didn't make his own language up, so it was much simpler writing.
C.S. Lewis simpleton compared to Tolkien.
C.S. Lewis's allegorical writing was a little on the nose, because Tolkien was not a fan of the allegorical writing style.
Mm-mm. But if I remember correctly, and Sarah, you tell me if I'm wrong, the order in which the books were actually written was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, mm-hmm. Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and then it was either The Magician's Nephew, Silverchair, and then The Last Battle, or was it Silverchair, Magician's Nephew, and The Last Battle?
I know The Last Battle was the last one. I don't remember the order on the last three, and I cannot change. I can't go look it up because I just have my phone.
I can Google it in a minute.
But yeah,
later. How dare you?
I know, it's so uncreative of him. He didn't create an entire language with including sentence structure, multiple languages, including sentence structures and grammatical rules, and then create an entire world based off of that language. Just so uncreative of C.S. Lewis.
I know. Just how dare C.S. Lewis only use one language?
I always think it's interesting because I think that I've always wondered if Space Trilogy, which is very, very much more of a true science fiction, if you are familiar with Chronicles of Narnia and you're jumping into the Space Trilogy, I highly recommend, but do not hand them to your children. They are not a series written for children or even teenagers, honestly. I read them first before college and didn't really get much out of them and didn't understand what I was reading. It's much heavier and it's quite a bit darker than anything else he has written.
Cajun, I feel attacked.
It is less dark than his Pilgrim's Regress, which I don't know if I'd recommend reading unless you are ready for a brain warp tour of confusion at times.
So Cajun, excuse Cajun, come. Do we have to really, really?
Hey, Cajun, she wanted to go to Korea because she thought she was going to be tall there, and then we broke her world by telling her that she was not going to be tall in Korea. So, yeah.
But thank you, Cajun. Yes, my actual birthday is tomorrow, but I'm going to be doing a co-stream with Roto Kamish. I'll be doing a co-stream tomorrow with Roto Kamish, co-birthday stream tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on my Twitch channel, on his Twitch channel. Yeah, y'all should go to Twitch tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have a plethora of games we're gonna play tomorrow. But Cajun, I am a fully formed, fully sized adult. I may be on the shorter end of the stick, but I am fully sized.
That's an understatement.
Shut up.
I mean, I'm short, but I'm not that short.
You're only like 1 inch taller than me, okay?
I'm almost 5'4", so...
Okay.
Okay. Almost 5'4", and I'm almost 6'1".
Why y'all be attacking me like that, bro?
I actually stand up straight. I'm 5'4". But no, Tolkien's. I mean, have you gotten to the point yet in Space Trilogy, Mando, where you've caught the connection between Tolkien's work and the Space Trilogy?
I was looking for the connection, and I think I just got distracted by all the big words, and I needed a thesaurus and a dictionary and a freaking encyclopedia trying to read this book. So no.
Not that hard to read, honey.
He freaking uses so many adjectives to describe one thing. Like, I read a sentence, a run-on sentence, and it was like 5 different words that I barely understood.
Are you at the Institute? You're reading about the people at the Institute, right?
Right now, yes.
Part of it, right? Is that you have good versus evil, and how many times do people in the underside of this world get their way or sweet talk people into confusion? Like 99, it's the using of the words. It's part of actually his mastery of the language. He does such a good job showing how we can be confused and be tricked into thinking that we are on the right side of history or on the right side of the world because we have so many words being twisted and pulled at us. Talks about the media being manipulated.
That sounds oddly familiar.
This is why I think a lot of people either love or hate the 3rd book of the Space Trilogy, but I really think a lot of more people need to be reading it because there's so much in that book that, yes, was relatable to that time period, but is still so relatable today. So yes, it's a hard read, but Space Trilogy was written in the same universe as the Lord of the Rings, but set in the future versus being the lore of the past.
Mm-hmm.
When
so you get a little bit of that.
Trilogy written in the 40s?
That's a good question. I know it was later in his life.
You guys are gonna make me look this up. Hold on.
But it's like the Eldil have a little bit of their own language, so you actually see a little bit more of almost. It's interesting because I feel like you see a little bit more of Tolkien's influence on C.S. Lewis's writing style in the Space Trilogy.
It was published in 1938.
Wow. All right.
A little bit more world building, a little bit more language building, especially in the first book when he goes to the Red Planet.
So realistically, the only type of Middle Earth that he knew about, or that the readers would have known about at that time, would have been The Hobbit. So can you really connect it to Tolkien if you're just reading The Hobbit and then reading
I don't know if
This
Lewis.
trilogy?
I don't know. I'm sure Lewis knew because like they were friends at the time, but I'm not sure the average reader would catch it because he mentions. I'm not even. I think it's interesting. It would be very interesting to know exactly where they both were in their writing at that time, because I'm trying to remember which land he mentions. It might not even be a country that's mentioned in The Hobbit. It might be a country that's mentioned in lore in the actual Lord of the Rings, which would mean it'd be more linked to Tolkien and him talking.
Well,
versus
there's
the actual-
very little like mentioned of the entire world. Middle Earth is not just the only, like, that's not the world. The world is Arda.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, let's look at the regions. You got Herod, you have Rune, you've got Mordor, you've got Gondor, you have Arnor, Eregion, Lindon, like, and all of these change at times.
Starts with a V. The city that he mentioned starts with a V.
Vardar words.
Where
Vadon Var
what land
You're gonna
starts?
make me find the book.
Uh,
Let's see if I can even find it.
because that's interesting. That's very interesting to
City
think about. But I don't exactly is Eru Iluvatar noted at all, Mando, in the
Well,
books?
so the way that Lewis is writing the space trilogy is God is mentioned, but he is mentioned as a different, like he got in lore, in the space trilogy lore, he's mentioned that people call him by different names in different spots.
Yeah.
What's up, Emperor Doomsday?
Well, I mean, the only correct way to call him is Iluvatar because he is the one that created the Ainur and the Maiar, and they are the heavenly beings that were there before the first song even started.
Yes. In the space trilogy, there are heavenly beings that were there at the beginning of creation, and they're in charge of different planets and do different things.
Yes, and they refer to themselves as the Eldil of their own planets. And the reference is going to be so tough to find this. The reference back to C.S. Lewis's work is when they are talking about history, like they're talking about like the past. So little bit of a spoiler here. Merlin is also part of the story, the wizard Merlin. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
so
Lewis put Merlin in there.
So both sides are trying to bring Merlin back from the dead, and they both think that they're gonna, like, both sides are fighting for him to, like, they think that he has the magic that's gonna, like, help them take over the world, that they're gonna have the key to, like, win the world by. And it's
Don't spoil it. I haven't read past. I just know he's there.
But that's why they're fighting over him. It's just, it's just like buying land and destroying property. This whole fiasco of modern world. But it's somewhere either in reference to when his wife is learning the history. Oh, here. There's actually a mention to Middle Earth here. There's one reference to Middle Earth. That's not this one I was thinking of, though.
While you're looking that up, I found the actual order of the Chronicles of Narnia, how they were written, and I was completely off.
Wow.
So it was Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, the Silver Chair, the Horse and His Boy, the Magician's Nephew, the Last Battle.
That is so weird, but I mean, it makes sense because that's the order that the movies were going in. So
yep,
they were probably
in publishing order. Yep.
They probably were hamstrung to go in publishing order, like with rights and everything.
Probably. But let's hope they never decide to finish, because if things continue to go the way of the Rings of Poop, I don't want them, like, they already messed up a lot of I didn't really care for Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I don't want them doing that. But did you guys know that the same person who did the artwork for Lion and the Witch with the Wardrobe and all that is on Rings of Power doing the things right now?
The artwork?
Like if like whenever you take a look at the scenery in Rings of Poop and all of the just kind of the CGI,
Wow.
the person in charge of Lion
That
the Witch and the Wardrobe.
That explains why I only watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and didn't care about anybody else, like any of the other movies or anything else. I was just like,
The Witch's Wardrobe was just so disappointing, even for 12-year-old me. I went home crying.
bro, that final battle was so sad. It's like you're gonna have all of these
The
people
entire
here.
movie.
It's just like it's like 30 people on each side.
I would like to own Susan's archery dress, and that's all I have to say about the entire movie.
Susan did have a pretty neat archery dress, but like, bro, I don't know about y'all, but Susan was never one of my favorites. I always like, Susan, get your butt out of here. Nobody wants you. Get out. But that's just me.
No, okay. We're gonna enter into all of this. I have been given every single one of the films, and so I do own the 3 movies that were published. I don't know why I haven't burned them yet. I think there's part of my sentimental soul that wants them to be better, because Narnia was the fantasy series that I fell in love with. Like, that was the series that introduced me to fantasy, and I wanted them to be better because I loved Narnia. I still love Narnia. I reference chunks of the book all the time. I reference the last battle frequently in conversation. There's so many pictures that there are times that the only thing I can come up with is C.S. Lewis's writing. And one of the things that, like, as a child, especially as coming out of a Christian background and being in the church, was how he talked about, like, how Aslan appeared to all of the different children throughout the series, and it's a very poignant image that you get, especially when they come back in Prince Caspian, that Susan had gotten older and that her faith in Aslan had diminished. She didn't believe in him as much. And Aslan appears smaller to her, and where Lucy's faith has grown as she's grown in her own faith. And Aslan has appeared larger, and that the lion's physical size was depending on the point of view that the eyes are from, and that overall Aslan was nowhere near as large as he should be, that he was quite the large lion and not a little small lion they portrayed in the movie. It was just disappointing and frustrating.
But the thing that I really did enjoy Liam Neeson. Not, it wasn't Liam. Was it? No. Was it?
I think Liam Neeson was Aslan. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Okay. I started second guessing myself.
Recognize that, and that's gonna break my brain there for a little bit. Thank you.
Yes. The voice of Aslan was Liam Neeson. I know that voice anywhere.
So Qui-Gon Jinn was Aslan.
No. He said, "If I find you, I will kill you, and I will find you." So yeah, that voice from the first Taken movie. Like, that's the only Taken movie. There's no others. There's no other Taken movies. But
I've never seen any of them, so I will go with whatever you say.
Oh, the first one's pretty good. I recommend it. Like the
Smile
third one
is not into very like high intensity films.
Oh well, okay, never mind. You probably wouldn't like it. But the third Taken film, I always point this out. It has a funny fight scene where, well, it's a fight scene, but it's funny when you're watching it because it has, I think they counted 17 jumps, like camera changes in, I think, 20 seconds.
Oh my god, that's
It's
a
like
lot.
each punch is a different camera angle.
I can just only imagine like the actors like punch, all right, next, and then punch again. All right, changing again.
I gotta find that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Ah.
But anyways, back to Narnia.
But yes, back to Narnia. Did you guys know? So now that I remember, this is the point that I wanted to bring up. The reason the publishing / the writing was important for the Chronicles of Narnia, because the Magician's Nephew, like you guys have read it, it has rings in it, right? Tolkien and C.S. Lewis had a big falling out because
Yep.
Tolkien thought that Lewis stole the idea of a ring of power from Tolkien. Like Tolkien thought that C.S. Lewis took the idea from him, and he was like, "Hey, why didn't you make accolades or acknowledgement in your, book that you got the idea from me?" And Lewis is like, "These rings don't work anything like yours. The only thing that happens is maybe somebody turns invisible, but they don't actually turn invisible because they're traveling." And so for a long time, Tolkien was very upset with Lewis.
Well, I can't blame Tolkien.
I've
Like
always wondered.
you're gonna go ahead and supplant your story in my universe, and then
Narnia's
you're gonna
not part of
take
the same
certain things, like
This
certain.
trilogy was not Narnia. Narnia was a different universe.
Well, I know that, but I'm just like,
Although that has always been a question. Did like Lewis in the back of his mind kind of think that maybe through one of the holes you would jump into Narnia? But based on the fact that Tolkien's work is supposed to be the lore of Europe, that wouldn't be a different universe necessarily.
Well, there is a theory that one of the in the area between worlds and universes, that one of those ponds does lead to Middle Earth. Like that, I think that I remember reading that somewhere, that's one of the, kind of like.
We can't read, I'm not sure what Lewis wanted with that. I have always wondered though if that's, although it was written pretty late in the series, it always felt odd to me that the kids enter through rings in that series. They enter through, they never enter the same way, which is part of the point. But the rings just always felt different.
Yes, late art fight. But yeah, like, and that was Lewis's point, was yes, it is a ring. It is a ring that has power, but it is not the ring of power. It is not the rings of power. It is
multiple rings. It was like a red ring and a green ring, right? And one
it was a yellow. Well, it was a yellow and green, I think.
Yellow and green. And one,
and there was a red one that ruled them all.
No. Moon, you are in odd company, because most of us didn't care for. Well, I mean, besides the nostalgia, like I was so happy to see Chronicles of Narnia on the big screen, but we don't.
Music movie from the first movie.
This is what I gotta say about the Chronicles of Narnia and almost every single fantasy movie that came out in that time period. They were trying to ride the coattails of The Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson. And so they are going to be subpar. What you need to do when you're creating something, and I use this for Aragon. Aragon came out in 2006. There was a movie that was made. It was awful. It was awful. What you need to do when you're creating a movie like this is, wow, I'm going to slap Nasmir. I'm going to slap him. I just, wow. All right, Nasmir, you're gonna do me like that? Gotcha. All right. But anyways, when you're creating a movie set in a fantasy setting, separate yourself from the Lord of the Rings. I don't care if the original author took inspiration from if I was to write a fantasy novel, I would take inspiration from the Lord of the Rings. Yes. I would also take inspiration from D&D, which has inspirations from Lord of the Rings. There's no escaping it. I understand this. Tolkien is the godfather of fantasy. So I get that. But when you want to make a successful movie that stands either on par with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, you have to not follow his footsteps. You have to not follow his lead. You have to change it up. You have to be different. You cannot just settle for being subpar. And that's why I think, when did Narnia come out? 2005?
Think so.
The first one? Narnia movies. Let's see. The first one came out in 2005. The second one came out in 2008. And then the third one came out in 2010. And they were supposed to make the Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair, but never did. So yeah, even in 2005.
Someone else? Somebody else bought them actually from Disney. And then nothing happened.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
I
the
remember that.
full-
Yeah, yeah, Disney did purchase the rights. Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, they
That
probably still.
whole thing, they was going to continue the series. Well, and then somebody else, I think, actually eventually purchased them from Disney because I followed this for a while. Like, I'm not sure who owns the rights right now. Like, there was this whole thing, like, nothing ever happened, and then it was moved to somewhere else. And then, like, at one point, some studio was talking about maybe starting it up, and then that died, in Hellfire and Brimstone somewhere.
Late Art's asking, was there an older TV show of Narnia? I remember watching it as a kid. I think so.
There was a dressed up like there was a BBC version, wasn't there? Yes, there was a BBC version in costume. Because I had friends who grew up watching that one, and I tried to watch one of them once, and I just couldn't get over the hokiness. But that would probably be a more true to story version since it was a much longer series.
Oh yeah, Moon, I understand. Like that was like when I was a kid watching it in the movies. Yeah, it was awesome. It was fabulous. But like when you actually like comparing books to movie, like that's of course, usually the book's always better than the movie, but still. Okay. So
GD is the exception of that. My only exception.
2008, Disney pulls out of financing the remainder of the Chronicles of Narnia film. However, I think in 2018, Netflix acquires the Chronicles of Narnia rights for a TV series, and I don't think that was ever done.
Oh, so you've got Disney Plus and you've got Netflix. That like one or the other. Like, come on, like which one you're gonna choose? Which one you're gonna be happy with? You're gonna be happy with neither because
they just never did with it. I think they both recognized that, like, one, they had kind of missed the boat. Although there's so much to do.
I believe that the executives think that they missed the boat on fantasy, but Disney also owns the rights to Aragon, and they still own them as far as I'm aware, because Christopher Paolini was making a push that Disney Plus should make a TV series about Aragon. And
I'm reading that series for the first time and been struggling through it.
Why are you struggling through it? Is it because it was written by a 15-year-old?
Yeah. It might have been easier to read if I was 15, as an almost 30-year-old who has accustomed my reading to
that of about 30-year-olds or
more. About my reading level, but yes. I mostly read nonfiction, philosophy, theology.
Oh, then yeah, you're not gonna enjoy that. Be real with yourself. The only time that that even gets good is at like the end of the fourth book is when it starts to get good.
Gosh, you're depressing me.
Well, like the writing style. That's like the writing level.
I've been in book 2 now, so I'm in all like clarity. I'm reading it on my phone when I'm at work when I have a few minutes like waiting, because every once in a while I end up just having to sit at my computer because of how my job works, and I don't normally get to sit anywhere. I'm normally on a forklift all day and unloading trucks and things like that. But so in these like weird free moments, I've been reading through the books, but I'm like finally at 49% of the way through the second book, and I've been working on this book for 21 days. Like, I'm just like, it says something like, if I don't want to pick up the phone to read the book, I'm just like not at all engaged in the story. We're just struggling. We have this like teenage boy who thinks he's in love with 100-something-year-old elf, and we're having these like other temper tantrums between a dragon and a child. Oh, it's just
D-Day Direwolf, what is up?
As in, I don't know, starting a rebellion against people that are trying to kill him, and his love of his life has been kidnapped by her father. And I'm like, Where are we going with this?
Well, the love of his life was kidnapped by a dude that was possessed by a demon, well, a bunch of demons, and yeah, like it is okay. This is how I can explain. This is how I can explain it. As the writing level increases, you look at it as a medium rare steak.
So is there a
Now,
point you don't feel like trying to strangle Aragon the next time you meet him?
yes. So the first book is like a well done steak. You can eat it, but it's gonna be really tough if you don't have like some A1 steak sauce or maybe some hot sauce. I don't know what type of sauce you want.
Ranch and ketchup, buddy. We're in Minnesota here.
Oh no.
You want me to move to Minnesota? No, I do not put ranch and ketchup on.
Ketchup is good on us.
We have just lost the chat. I'm sorry, chat. I apologize. I do not condone the actions of our guests. Sorry.
She's from a weird land of ice and snow, but not the Witch Queen.
But our salads frequently don't have lettuce in it. If you ask us to bring a salad to an event, the chance that it's made with whipped cream is really high.
Oh my god.
Emperor Doomsday, what heresy is this?
All I gotta say is Emperor Doomsday is it's the land of the whites. That's all I gotta say.
It's the Canadian mild.
Oh my
My
god.
sister dips everything in mayonnaise.
Okay, let's stop talking about weird Minnesotan things.
Delicacies. It's weird Minnesotan delicacies. Say it right, Mando. But anyways, back to Aragon. Yeah, it's like a no, Moon. Say it right.
Salads are really good here. You take your cookies and you break them up and you mix it with you have your container of Cool Whip and you mix it with a package of like vanilla pudding. Like you make vanilla pudding and you have your Cool Whip and you mix that together, and then you have like a fruit cocktail mix of some sort, or the traditional one is actually just the cookies with mandarin oranges and maybe some fruit cocktail mix in it. But that's a cookie salad. You have Jello salad that you'll actually have like chunks of Jello in it. You can do a pistachio one where you have pistachio pudding and you'll do like a green or like a lime Jello in it generally.
Late art, I think so. The late art's probably going, oh my god, these Americans. Oh my god, these weird Americans.
Listen, I am just thankful that I live in the good old South. That's all I gotta say.
Jello was really, really popular in Minnesota, and it's affected the Lutherans of the state heavily. There are foods that are very traditional at any Lutheran gathering, and I still find them. But if you go to like other churches gatherings or families that aren't Lutheran, you get different foods. You know, like lutefisk, I don't recommend, or blood sausage, I also don't recommend.
Okay, Moon. Last comment from Moon.
Yes, it is like a dessert, not a salad. But yes, it will be in the salad section and in Minnesota potluck. They'll also bring a dessert like cookies or bars or cake. Probably Jello poke cake. That's a popular one.
This is why I'm not gonna move to Minnesota. Okay, adding to that list now.
We have learned so much today. Some things I didn't think I would have to know.
Late art. Yes, Americans are crazy, but even sometimes us Americans look at other Americans and go, ooh.
Yeah, at least in the South you get some flavorings. Like it doesn't always have to be a dessert. Like sometimes the main course is flavored correctly and you don't have to put ketchup on your steak.
All right.
You should cover the flavor of the steak. A good steak is eaten correctly. But ketchup can be used to cover many sins when you're, at someone's house and they overdid their steak.
Okay, fair enough. I will give you that one.
But ranch is really good on a baked potato. That will always go.
Ah, interesting.
It's all right. Okay, onward.
No. This is literary foods now. Thank you very much.
I'm hungry, guys. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. No.
Welcome to the club.
10% this morning.
Yes, this is now literary foods. Our guest today is from Minnesota, telling us all about the Minnesotan cuisine. Arkansas is from the same state that I'm living in right now, and we don't know what Arkansans like. So,
Which is just weird, slimy green stuff. I don't understand that one. I don't understand okra. I don't understand grits. None of those are. Sorry.
I don't either, but I still live here, and I can work around it. Hey, guess what? More food for the guy that likes okra. That's all I gotta say.
I'll take some chimkin.
We could do literary foods. Jessica's can start a can start a podcast and cook through the Hobbit. Like get a Hobbit cookbook. I'm sure those exist.
Hey,
I think there actually is a YouTube channel about a Hobbit cooking thing. But Charlie makes a good point. Steak needs to be cooked.
You can't talk about little people like that anymore. Mando, you're gonna get canceled.
I am a little person. I can talk about my own race whenever the dang well I choose.
Have you seen her feet art? I'm pretty sure she's a Hobbit. Love you.
With the fur and everything.
Excuse you! I can't even say anything because Ark literally lived in an Airbnb with me for a week. I do not have hairy feet. Excuse you, mine are white and pasty and...
But those feet.
Ladar, I don't need you to do that. No, you're supposed to hate on Ark, not me, Ladart. No.
But she showers too much to be a Harfoot.
That is true.
Oh
that
my
is
gosh.
True. I said this was going to be a wild and crazy episode, and I have not denied you your craziness today.
Mando threw Ark and I together live for the first time with less than 3 minutes of introduction, so she knew what she was getting today.
Yeah.
We have one person on the one hand who I've known for almost 10 years, and then we had somebody I stayed in an Airbnb, a tiny Airbnb with for a week.
Yeah, you get to know them pretty well. It's just like, oh, okay, well,
I still have the picture with you cuddling a Mickey Mouse. Don't make me bring it out.
That was so funny. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Megan and I almost died.
I don't think you're black.
There was literally no room in the Airbnb. There was no room. It was so tiny. I had to sleep on the floor. And so a little nest was made for me. And there was a Mickey Mouse figure because it's Orlando. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just cuddle up next to this and just go to sleep.
They made a nest for you.
We did. Megan from the Noob Reviews and I made a nest for Ark. It was beautiful. I'll send it to you, late art. I'll send it to you.
I'd like to see Ark this nest as well. I'm sorry. No fun.
I thought I sent it to you. Hold on. Who all did I send this picture to?
No, you didn't.
Who all did you send this picture to?
You sent me 3 pictures on day 1, and then failed at sending me any photos after that. So
that's sorry. I gotta find this. Hold on. Let me.
Your friends once. Good morning, Roman.
Roman! Thank you. It's good morning, Mando and friends. Just popping in to say happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic full day of nerdiness. Yes. And also, Moon, thank you for the birthday. Let me try and find this photo. I got to find this photo because this is just too good not to.
Wow.
Continue to discuss.
Discuss what? The differences between Southern food and Minnesotan food?
There's
a vast difference.
It's true. I'm an expert on Minnesota food, but you also have to recognize that I have one uncle who is from Mexico, and my other uncle is from Hong Kong. And then we had exchange students from Korea and China and the Netherlands and Finland and Norway.
Wow.
And we had missionaries who lived with us from Japan and Vietnam and Thailand, and my cousins live in Singapore. So, my food has been weirdly, I am not a normal Minnesotan when it comes to food in any way, shape, or form of what I generally eat.
Exactly, Emperor Doomsday. Exactly. He says one puts you to sleep, the other puts you to sleep permanently. Yes. Now, I dare say that most people haven't had a Southern Thanksgiving because
This
it's amazing. It's called a deep fried turkey. And then you have all the other fixings to go with it, as well as the filling. And then like you
We call
take
that
like
butter.
one plateful and you sleep for 5 hours.
No, that happens in Minnesota too.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I've slept on many, many floors after Thanksgiving dinner.
I have worn a cowboy hat. I have.
I have too,
Even
but I've worked on many, many ranches. I have worked with horses for most of my life.
yeah, it's deep fried. It's amazing.
We
It's
do smoke.
amazing.
My brother is a grill master, and I am generally in charge of dry brining the turkey. I have a dry brine recipe that is much asked for in the family, and then my brother is in charge of doing the smoking of the turkey and the ham for Thanksgiving and smoked mac and cheese, homemade from scratch smoked mac and cheese.
late art. Check your messages. I sent it to you.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I won't be able to see it till after the show, but you should send it to me.
Wow. Wow.
Ark. I mean, I didn't send it to everybody. I didn't send it in the Discord. If it ever escapes to anywhere else on the internet, that's not my fault. I only send it to a select few number of people. I am not responsible for what they choose to do with this image.
You're okay, Ark. I haven't seen it yet. I won't see it until I leave. You're safe until I leave the stream.
Unless you want me to show the world, Ark. Unless
No.
you want.
No.
Preview.
No.
Aww, you're
It's
so
such a
cute.
but it's such a cute little image of you cuddling with the Mickey Mouse, Ark. It's so
Yeah,
cute.
it's so cute. If you
No,
ever
Mr.
go,
Blue Bloop, I'm not sending you any more images to put on the internet yet.
yeah, if you're hoping for a tough guy facade that's been destroyed in my brain ever, Ark.
Oh yeah, no, there's never been a tough guy facade. No.
Where were we before I started sending this sending the contraband?
Into Minnesota cuisine and Thanksgiving meals.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, like, what do you like? What are some family traditions you both have for Thanksgiving? Hey, topic. Yes,
I'm just saying we need a cooking show now.
we do.
I think we did a cooking show too now, and I'm hungry. I
Yeah.
ate breakfast. And I'm hungry.
So, like, we could go through like the different meals of like I like off the top of my head, of course, Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, because George was really descriptive of the food there, and so you could do that. What other cookbooks? I'm just gonna look up fantasy
Chronicles of
cookbooks.
Narnia.
Yeah, the Chronicles of Narnia. They had food.
Probably a Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
Butter. I could try and make butter beer. I mean, it's
Butterbeer is just an Italian cream soda.
soda.
That's all it is.
It really is.
And you gotta call it butterbeer. I'm like, when you got that, and it was the butterbeer soda,
makes
right?
Sounds easier.
And then I took a swig of it. I was like, this is just Italian cream soda. If I wanted Italian cream soda, I would get it, and I would put the flavors in that I wanted in the freaking drink.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
just butterscotch cream soda. If anyone's concerned. No.
What? Who did what now?
I really hope that Mr. Bloop Bloop is not as a horrible person as I think he is.
Did he just steal the image
Fun.
from your phone? As we speak, wow.
He might have said something about the Twitch twat. I think he's joking, though. I don't think he would put that on Twitter, though. I don't think he's that crazy. Right, dear?
I don't know. In the right mood, he can be.
Anyway, for those of you curious, there is a cursed image of Ark on the internet now. I don't know where it is.
First image, unless he changed it in some way.
I don't think
That
he
would
would.
be funny. That would be funny if he memed it, because that's all it's good for.
I mean, yeah, you're the people that meme you, Ark.
See, he's laughing.
Oh no, he's
You're
laughing. Who's following you now?
I am.
Okay. I'm not sweating at all right now, guys. Anyway, but yes, we should start a cooking show eventually. Is it worse than Chunky Peep? Chunky Peep?
That's
Probably
actually
no.
so funny.
No, Ladart, it's not worse than Chunky Peep. It's fine. I sent it to you, Ladart. You need to check your Discord. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, my only thoughts about today were it's chill. My birthday's tomorrow. We're just gonna have fun. Ooh, I could tell you guys about the time that I almost burned a forest down on my birthday.
Oh, birthday stories. Let's go.
Birthday stories, yes. So, Mr. Bloop Bloop, why are you looking at me like that? I can't focus when you look at me like
Mr.
that. Please
Bloop
stop.
Bloop, follow me back. There it is. I see it now.
He followed you. He's very happy that you followed him back, by the way. Anyway, stop distracting me. Go away. The people didn't pay to see this. Granted, they didn't pay to see this at all. Anyway, so I used to live in the.
Sorry.
I used to live in the woods of South Alabama. And we used to do bonfires for my birthday. We used to do big bonfires. One of my uncles was a Marine, and he likes to do things big. And he was like, "Hey, Mando, let's see how big we can get this bonfire going." I was like, "Sure thing, Uncle. Let's see how big we can get this bonfire going."
Oh, I remember this.
He had big 2x4s in his garage. He had big planks, big long planks that he would just get scraps of wood for. And so we did like the teepee style of firewood, and we made it a big teepee, big and then we put gasoline on it.
Oh, fancy. Same here. I love gasoline. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
That was a big.
But he didn't just put one can of gasoline on this fire. No. He put 2 to 3 cans of gasoline.
That's a bit excessive. That's a bit excessive.
It doesn't take that much.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But I think it must have been like my Sweet 16 or something or other. I don't remember. And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna let it soak for a little while, and your friends will be here in a couple hours. It'll be good." And I'm like, this is a ticking time bomb. What can I do to avert?
Most of your family is a ticking time bomb, honey.
For any of you who know my family, yes, my family is a ticking time bomb. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can pre-burn some of the brush around the campfire so it doesn't jump and catch fire. Apparently, one of the gas cans had a little bit of a leak in it, and I didn't know.
No.
No.
And I was like, just taking a lighter and, just kind of like burning and using a rake and just kind of burning things. And then one of the flames kind of jumped and then just whoosh.
Wow. All right.
I think I lost a couple of eyebrow hairs that day.
Wow.
At least it wasn't napalm. That is true, Southern Case. That is true. Ark setting himself on fire since he was born.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened.
Yes, it was a little bit more explosion than fire. But thankfully, like some of my friends had started already kind of driving into they were starting to park and they were just like, "Oh my god, Mando, are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Are the trees on fire? Are the trees on fire?" I'm like freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Water hose. Where's the water?" I'm just like running and they're just like, "Ah!" And I'm like, "Ah!" They're like the presents. I'm like, do you still have eyebrows? Yes, I do. I still have eyebrows. These are really they didn't all completely singe off Southern. They grew back eventually. They grew back a little thicker.
Still blonde.
But that's one of my birthday. Hello, my friends would have tried peeing on it. Oh, what's up, Gibbons? What's up? You're more than welcome to join the crazy train if you want to, Gibbons. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But yeah, that was definitely a memorable birthday. I think when I told you about it first time, Small, I didn't tell you all of the details. But yeah. Oh my gosh, hold on. I just got tagged on Twitter. Hold on. Let me see this. I gotta see this. Oh, he's just scaring me. He's just scaring me. He's just trying to scare me. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's one of my favorite birthday stories. Because apparently my uncle had just fallen asleep and forgot about checking, to make sure I knew how to start the fire properly. So he didn't come out for a while. My grandma, because I think my uncle went into one of the other trailers. Yes, I'm trailer trash. That's fine. He went into one of the other trailers to take a nap, and I could hear my grandma. She's like, "Oh my god, Mando, what are you doing out there?" She comes out in her slippers. She's just like, "What the heck is going on?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, Grandma."
She's like, "Am I about to lose my
Ain't no witch. More of a paladin than a witch, that's for certain. But yeah, that's one of my favorite birthday stories. Trying to think of more birthday stories. That because mostly for my birthday we just did bonfires. That was the kind of thing you do when you live out in the woods. You just burn things.
In college, the Hunger Games. No, was it after college when the Hunger Games movie started coming out on your birthday, basically?
Oh yeah, I remember we would go see Hunger Games on my birthday.
We saw some of them. So I know I saw one of them with you. When did they come out? Because I feel like I graduated and moved away. I didn't see all of them with you. Some of them came after I left Arkansas.
Oh, you left Ark? I'm so sorry.
Hey! My name's Arkansas. I made this username before I moved to Arkansas 10 years ago. Thank you very much. I had no idea I'd be living in this.
Loves living in Arkansas so much.
No. My parents drug me here, and now I'm kind of stuck.
Okay, so the first one came out in 2012. So
that would have been So I would have watched that one with you because I.
No. I didn't come to Arkansas until 2014.
Oh, you're right.
So we saw Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 together.
College. I'm aging myself even older.
I graduated high school in 2011. Gosh.
Me too.
But yeah, so I
15.
So yeah, we saw the last two of the Hunger Games series, which is also another series I really like. Have you ever read the books or watched the movies, Ark?
The first one. I read the first book. It was definitely not my style. Wow, Gibbons. Wow. Did you see this? Gibbons
gets it. He understands.
Wow.
joining the train of people at the beginning who were amazed that he was here when we started.
Yeah.
If you're in Arkasul's Discord, we like to have fun there.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Very true. We like to have lots of fun.
The Hunger Game books came out in that era where, like, my gosh, so many dystopian novels came out. I was working in our local library at the time, actually. So I've moved back to my hometown. So I reference this now as the current location. So I've moved back to my hometown. But I was working at the library at the end of high school, and all of those books were coming out then. So you had, let's see, you had the Cinder, the Lunar Chronicles, which is actually probably one of my favorites. I love the Lunar Chronicles. So you have that as a more kind of dystopian fantasy. You had the Hunger Games. You had the Divergent series. There was Maze. I'm gonna forget what that is. That just called the Maze Runners? Yep, Maze Runner.
Maze Runner.
And there's another one in there I'm forgetting.
Gibbons in here talking about some D&D in the chat, bro. Hey, I know someone who hates being a healer, but is always a healer in our D&D campaigns.
Finally not a healer, and now I'm like video chatting in because
actually I believe that Gibbons and Southern Katie are talking about World of Warcraft right now.
No, D&D is better. I'm sorry.
Well, we have
shots have been fired.
Just provided the chat once more.
Pretty soon we're just gonna have everyone divided in their own little sections.
It's like, hi guys, I'm just.
I am a reader. I am a book reader, and I am not a video game player. I can't like my brain cannot handle open world games at all. I have tried, and it breaks my brain. You're more likely to find me climbing a mountain.
Maxter's also correct. Gibbons does not play a tank. He plays goblins. What's up, Maxter? Oh gosh. Southern Katie says I love them. But yeah, I have not played any really other than Pathfinder / D&D 5e. Which is sad that I'm gonna be missing out. Like tonight was supposed to be in D&D night, but that's not happening. Hopefully they don't kill my wizard. If you guys kill my wizard, I'm gonna be so sad. It's the first time I'm playing a wizard. Sorry, guys. Okay, continue. Continue. I say continue.
You raised that screen so deeply.
Continue with what? With what? You're the one who just stopped and said, "Okay, continue," and I don't remember where I left off. This is what happens when I run out of topics to talk about. We started talking about food. I got hungry and then forgot everything else.
That's the thing. Hold on. Try and gather my thoughts real fast. Let's talk about things. How about we already did that yesterday. Dang it, Jacob Ironside! You took all of my ideas.
I'm gonna jump all around eating because I need to eat because I have been up since 5 and I've already eaten one meal and it is lunchtime.
It is lunchtime. That is a fact.
That is true, and I am also kind of hungry. So today might be a shorter episode because I think all of us are not hungry. Hungriness
is very much a real thing in my universe. My coworkers all know this, and they feed me when it's going to be a long day, and they know it. They all bring food offerings so that they don't die.
Food offerings.
Well, I work with 7 guys in a warehouse, so none of them want to make me cry, and they're all older than me, and they all have daughters my age, and so they all just appease me with food, which is great.
Well, just bring offerings of food. What do you guys like to do for your birthdays?
So for my birthdays, for the most part, it's you have a relaxing day. You don't really do much. You might get a present, you might not. Presents, for me personally, I don't really care about getting presents on my birthday. But the one thing that we do is we do go out to eat, and the person that has the birthday gets to pick their birthday spot.
That's a pretty standard tradition. I know a lot of people who do that with kids.
Did you just call me a child? Wow.
No, it's just more that, you don't like gather around a bunch of people, and maybe, well, my family doesn't. My family still does stuff for each other's birthdays, but as we're adults, it's more less likely that your whole family is getting together to do something. Unless you have littles in the family, and then everybody gathers together because those birthdays are generally more exciting.
Maxter says yes, Ark is a child.
That means that you're a child too, considering you're just like a year and a half, 2 years older than me.
Life changes and you like bought a house and
yeah, or turning 30. Because apparently, I forget who it was that told me that it's all downhill from here now. Once you're 30, nobody cares anymore. You just die.
My family for birthday, my birthday now, sometimes you end up working on your birthday, which is always fun and lovely. This last year, my birthday was a Friday, and I wanted to go camping, so I took it off and I went camping, which is the best way to spend the weekend. But we have unusual, dessert choices in our family, so at some point around,
you mean more unusual than already being Minnesotans?
I don't love cake, so I don't have birthday cake. My mom makes me rhubarb pie because it's rhubarb season and I love rhubarb pie. So my mom makes me rhubarb pie for my birthday.
That makes sense.
So we get to choose.
Go ahead.
We get to choose a favorite meal. So what did I do this? Oh, BLTs. BLTs are a favorite of mine. I'll generally ask for BLTs.
So it's like, in prison before they do the things like you have one last meal. What do you want it to be? And so that's how you guys celebrate. Fabulous.
Wow.
You have to just choose your favorite meal. And generally you don't have to help with dishes or cook for that meal.
Southern Katie, my mom used to make me lasagna. I'm not a big fan of sweets. Ah, okay.
My dad likes peanut butter, so I make him peanut butter pie.
Hey,
you can make a pie out of peanut butter?
Yes, you can. It's not that bad. It's actually not that bad.
I might need to try some one of these days.
I thought it was going to taste weird the first time I ate it.
You need a chocolate Oreo crust. So delicious.
Yes, Ladart. Yes, indeed.
Yes, I do need a Snickers. Yes, late art. I do need a Snickers. I'm trying to think. So later on tonight, I've got friends who are taking me out to Indian food. So that's gonna be nummy. Why are we still talking about food?
I don't know. We just started talking about food.
That we all need to go eat lunch because we're all hungry.
And we literally changed from literary souls to literary food. So
now we're talking about food.
Hey,
everyone in the chat, should I start another YouTube channel called Literary Foods? You put yes in the chat if I should do that.
Here, I got you.
I think Mando needs to make Turkish delight.
You
and do a live.
Hey, you can't. That's not fair. You don't get to comment as me.
Yes.
Oh my god. So yeah, everyone says yes.
Soul food. I love it.
Smile, I don't cook very well, so you're gonna have to help me with this one.
It's gonna be a flaming dumpster fire of wonderfulness.
It's gonna be amazing, and I'm going to be in the voice chat for it.
I got this even better here. We have a very good friend of ours who is an amazing chef.
We do. She has her culinary arts. She's an actual thing. I should go talk to her.
She has a gorgeous, beautiful kitchen that could actually be really fun to film in.
Oh.
And that's a passion of hers. So that would actually be a really, really fun live stream if you could get her to join you and do Turkish delight or something like. better.
Because she has been on my live streams before when I go to conventions and stuff. It's been a while, but my friend has been on live streams. We need to get her a screen name because, well, granted, nobody's gonna. She's got a very unique name.
She just calls herself Joy in most places.
Ah, that's true.
But no, she would probably get a kick out of cooking with you.
Actually, no, later. That's when you
Yes,
taste
a lot of
test the
giggling.
food that you're making. So you won't get hungry and stop talking. You're just gonna like eat along the way.
Yes, and I will gain 100 pounds all over again. Wonderful. Wonderful. So here's how the cooking channel would actually be. My friend Joy would be cooking the food, and I'm commenting. I'm like, yes, please keep cooking.
No.
Yes.
No. She enjoys teaching.
Bot in the chat. We've got a bot in the chat, guys.
You've made it.
God.
I killed it.
She enjoys teaching, right? Like this is one of her passions. Like currently at work, she does a lot of training sessions and she loves teaching. If you introduce this to Poema as she is teaching you to make something, she's not going to help you. She's going to walk you through and let you struggle. And that's going to be fantastic. It will be the entire best part of the entire thing is that her not actually cooking it, but her making the face of, if I just take this over and get through this pain, it will go so much faster. I know her facial expressions. It would be chef's kiss.
She would look at me. I'd be like, okay, is this right? That like she tasted and she go, you know, maybe we should add a little something extra. Because she's one of those people. She's just like,
So okay. So for the ground, back in college, this friend of ours was my roommate through all the years of my college. And when she is stressed, she either cleans or she makes pastries. Like you would come home and you'd be like, "Hey, how's studying for this test going?" And she would go, "You want to taste this orange citrusy pastry fluffy thing I made?"
That sounds amazing.
Or you'd come home. I remember waking up one time in the middle of the night and I was like, "You need to go to bed." I'm like, "You need to stop deep cleaning the kitchen at 2 a.m. in the morning. I know you're stressed about the final tomorrow, but go to sleep, god damn it."
Wow.
We have some amazing friends, Ark. One of these days when you come up and visit again, I will have my friend make you some food.
Hey, there we go. I mean, the pizza that we went to, the pizza shop we went to, that was not bad. That was not bad.
We went to this over there in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've taken her to the pizza place too, right? Smile, I took you to Tony's Pizza.
Yeah, we did.
Good pizzas. Well, yeah, today's gonna be a shorter episode because we're all hungry. I didn't think this through. I was just thinking that we just all chit chat and hang out and have a grand old time, which we have. And now Maxter is a mod, and I'm worried for Late Art, but Late Art is also a mod, so it equals itself out.
I'm still joining the derailing of food conversations. All we're talking about is food.
I love it. I just every single stream that I'm on somehow starts talking about food. I think it's me.
It might be. It might be.
I was going to say, I talk about food a lot, but I enjoy cooking a lot. It's a wonderful hobby.
Yeah, this is how I make friends, guys. I have friends that are really great cooks. I eat the food. And then I tell other people about my friends who make good food. And I'm like, hey, we should all be friends. And they make the good food, and we'll eat the good food.
That's right.
Minnesota hot dishes and soups, though, so you can't complain too much about our comfort food here.
Maxter, that's great birthday food. Smoked steak.
Okay, we gotta end the stream. End it.
My mother smoked steaks back in
here another hour.
I have been destroyed and ruined for any other steak ever. It was so good.
Are there any closing thoughts? Smile, thank you once again for this is your second appearance on my show, right? Yes. For any of you who are wanting to know what she looks like, one, and two, like her first time actually on the show, we did a special episode about homeschool and all of the things you need to know about homeschooling and all of that wonderful stuff. So you should go find that episode with her on it. And of course, there's always Ark, unless he doesn't show up again. We don't know.
Wow. Okay. All right. I see how it is. I'm ending the broadcast.
Wait, that we need to tell them bye. Like, so shout out anything you want. Smile a while. Yeah, go do the thing.
You can follow me on Instagram if you like. Same username over there. Smile a while for me. It's mostly pictures of my dog, and my house renovations because that's what I do in my free time.
And she is a plethora of information.
Yes. Or my cross stitching or my knitting or whatever hand project I'm currently working on.
She makes cute things. It's like, so here's the other thing. She's also real like friends with Alasia and Megan from the Noob Reviews. Like they have this like little homeschooling, knitting, crocheting group. I imagine like they probably all just talk to each other about their projects and just makes and laughs at all of us.
I'm embroidering on a friend's Christmas present as we sit here, so.
I feel useless. I play video games.
Hey. And if you want to watch, if you want to watch some amazing video game gameplay, go over to twitch.tv/Arkasul and you'll have some laughs and you might see Mando on a stream or two. And that's where we talk more about food.
Maxter also plays video games rather poorly. Oh, you got burned.
Maxter, my
I
friend.
play video games poorly.
Thank you, Ladar. But yes, also don't forget tomorrow on my Twitch channel, also my friend Roto Kamish's Twitch channel, we're doing a co-stream and we're just playing a plethora of games. We're gonna be playing Fortnite. We're gonna be playing possibly Goose Goose Duck or Among Us.
Duck?
Babe, yeah, Goose Goose Duck. It's like Among Us, but it's ducks.
Like Duck Duck Duck?
It's like Duck Duck Goose, but it's not anything like Duck. It's nothing like Duck Duck Goose. But also anyone who has any of the games that he and I are playing, if it's multiplayer, you are welcome to join us. Ladard, I can't time out Maxter.
It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a great dual birthday stream. I love it. I love the idea.
And Ark, you are definitely invited to come by tomorrow.
I'll make an appearance.
All right, and Smile. I don't know what. I know you said you don't really have. I think you said you had Mario Kart, right? Somewhere, somehow, possibly. Maybe.
I don't even have internet, honey.
You might see her in the chat then. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you, guests, for appearing. I am excited for my birthday tomorrow. I'm excited for the food, and I'm hungry. Ark will be fashionably late, like normal. Yes, Maxter, of course, as always. And you might see Smile a while on a regular basis. Hopefully, maybe I need to actually talk to her about that, about possibly making more appearances. That way, if Ark, falls asleep again, I have somebody else to talk to.
Ouch. I'm so glad. There's nothing to do with my schedule. It's everything to do with being her second choice after 10 years of friendship.
Wow.
I'm buying my own corner now.
I can't believe she did that
and
to you,
I'm
Sarah.
going to stop working on your Christmas present.
No, please.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Mando, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Yes. All right. I don't have a cool ending thing.
Oh, I got one. We've been talking about food. I got one.
Okay.
So in tasting, what we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.